By the end of this video, you will be equipped with my entire Supernote planning system, starting at the top level, 3-month at a time, calendar view planning, all the way down to the granular level, day by day by day by day, daily level, block schedule type planning, and everything in between. I'm also going to leave a link in the description where you can find all the templates featured throughout this video in one place so that you can save yourself time from having to make them yourself. All the pieces of my entire system, how they work together, how I've optimized them over the years of trial and error. Empecemos.
This is Mr. Optimized.
Starting at the top level, this is what I call bird's eye. This is where I can get a 10,000 foot view of my entire year. You can see that we're looking at autumn right now, but I have in this page or in this journal series, I have several journal series off to the right. These are the ones that we're going to be going over in this video. This one allows me to see 1 quarter at a time, or actually 1 season at a time, my entire year. And what I use it for is planning things like birthdays and holidays. Those are easy. But the more important function of Bird's Eye is it allows me to plan days like this. Today is a content creation day, today, tomorrow, and the next day. And then these S's that you see here, those are days that I'm planning to substitute teach. I work 2 jobs. I have a substitute teaching job and a job at Texas Roadhouse. Those are both part-time. And the way that I've set it up right now, they're both part-time and they're both flexible. And what that allows me to do is I work 4 nights a week at Texas Roadhouse and 2 days a week substitute teaching. And what that allows me to do is 3 days a week, every single week, I can focus on building my business while still earning the income that I need in order to survive, which is about $4,000 a month. That's my goal for earnings right now while I'm building this business on the side. And so what this bird's eye template allows me to do is plan out, okay, if I need, in order to survive, say 8 days a month of substitute teaching, I can space those out exactly how I want to so that I can optimize the time that I'm spending both earning income, earning the immediate income that I need in order to survive, but also, more importantly, long-term, the time that I want to be investing into my content creation. Next on the list, we have goals. Goals in my Supernote is where I keep the short-term, high-value, most high-value things that I believe I could be doing in order to advance myself toward my long-term goals. My long-term goals themselves, I keep on physical paper elsewhere, but inside my Supernote, this is where I want to keep those things that I want to be focusing on in the coming days, in the coming weeks, the concrete specific things that I could do that I believe will make the biggest impact toward reaching my long-term goals. I've optimized this template background that you're looking at to have space on the left for creating bullet points and numbers, space on the right for creating deadlines, and then also the lines themselves are spaced out more thinly than in the templates that are available inside Supernote when you get it, and that way I can fit more notes per page in my Supernote. You'll find that over time your goals change, and so if I go 1 page back, you see that I had a lot more of a mess, and then one day forward, or I guess it was about a week later, every day I renew this. I just write a new date at the top. Today is November 3rd. It's actually my mother's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. And every time I do that, I just create a new page. I make it an actual bookmark inside my little index here on the left. And then I do it. I just create my goals. I found that I will statements are the most motivating for me. And then underneath each goal, I'll put little subtasks, things that I think could advance me toward that larger goal. I try to keep it as simple as possible because I found when I have too much, like when I have this is just too much noise. If I'm trying to refer to this every day and keep myself focused on it, it's just a lot easier when I have less. And it's more powerful that way because if I'm focusing on less things, but I'm giving more time and attention and focus to those things, they tend to have a bigger impact. Next up, we have weekly goals. As it sounds, these are where I plan my week's goals 1 week at a time. I also do weekends. I break up the work week and the weekends because work week goals and weekend goals tend to be different. I want to tackle more personal tasks over the weekend, of course. And so here are some examples. This is from last weekend. This is from last week. I have space in this template for, again, creating bullet points on the left. And then on the right, I have a place for specifying what day of the week I want to get each goal done by. The different sections here, I have 6 of them, are for different buckets of my life. I don't specify any in these past couple of weeks, but you could, if you wanted to, specify, okay, this right here is for content creation. Maybe this is for my job as a substitute teacher, planning things like games for the kids or bringing in candy, whatever. And then I might have ones for personal tasks, less important things. I have a journal indexing side project that I've been trying to give time to. Anything like that, it's nice to be able to bucket them separately so that I can visually see, depending on what I want to focus on in a given weekend, for example, I can do that. I also want to point out this visual representation of a week up here. I used to do the whole like Monday 10:27 to Friday 10:31. I used to write it out like that, but I prefer to see, because there's no difference visually between that and the weekend, I would much rather have the visual blocks where I can see, okay, this is my work week, and then the next page, it's just 3 days, that's the weekend. I also have these indexed, as you can see, that's why they're grayed out up here. And what that allows me to do is quickly navigate to the week or the weekend of interest. So if I'm wanting to return to the current week, for example, then I can go back right away, or I can go to the future and plan. Let's say I had some kind of a birthday party this upcoming weekend, and I can get that off of my plate. I've positioned it correctly in time, and I can not have to worry about it until it is time to worry about it. After my weekly plan is daily planning, and this is what I would say is the most indispensable part of my overall planning system, because this is where most of the work happens. This is, as you can see, this is today. I'm actually in the afternoon now, so I could mark this off. The open circle that you see right here, that just means that I want to make progress on that task. I don't necessarily need to finish it. The way that this breaks down is I have a total of 6 different blocks through the day. And if you're not familiar with the block schedule philosophy, essentially what that means is that instead of planning your day hour by hour, you plan it 1 block at a time. And those blocks tend not to change very much throughout our days. Most of us have it to where we have, for example, for me, I have an open block. Generally, I'm doing the same kinds of things within the first couple hours of the day. So I wake up at 5, I'll pray, I'll read scripture, I read my goals. I'm trying to do push-ups in the morning, so I have push-ups listed there. Get my hygiene taken care of, eat breakfast, and that's all it all needs to be done before the working block of the day, the first working block of the day, which I call prime time. Prime time is where I do all the most high-value tasks of my work. I want to get the most important things done. Take a lunch break, give myself an hour. If I eat quickly, I might be able to do a chore or 2 in here as well. After lunch, I come back and do any wrap-up work. Anything that I began from the morning, I'll try to tackle and make sure it's done in the afternoon. After wrapping it up, then I'll have my evening block, which is more for personal tasks like cooking, reading, working on my journal indexing side project. And then, of course, if I have a job at Texas Roadhouse, if I'm working that night, which I won't be tonight, but if I was, that would be listed down here too. And then finally, in order to make sure that I'm getting enough sleep, it's not enough to give yourself a bedtime, like a time that you want to be asleep by. It's also necessary that you give yourself time to prepare for bed, because if the last thing you're trying to do before bed is watching YouTube or scrolling through some kind of, like if you're scrolling through TikTok or Instagram, I'm not really into those, but if you do something like that, and you, especially if you have that inside your bedroom, it's going to throw you off, and it could be really hard to have a good sleep schedule. So instead what I do is I give myself 2 hours before my actual lights out time to put my phone away. I have a charger station outside of the bedroom, and then I go and I'm in my bathroom brushing my teeth by 8 o'clock. I actually have been doing 7 o'clock too, if I can get away with it. After I brush my teeth, I get in bed, and then I'll read scripture right before falling asleep, and then that way it's a lot easier to actually fall asleep. Another thing that I'll show you here as well, in order to plan a day in advance, you'll see that I already have my entire week. I can go all the way down through my week, and I've got all these days already lined out. The way that I did that was I didn't do it one day at a time, and I didn't have to write all of these all again and again and again. Instead, what I do is on Saturday every week, I'll use this little button that I have here at the top. And the way that you create that is you write whatever you want, and then you lasso it, and you can create a link by creating this, by touching that button right there. Create a link to a page within this notebook. And the one that I've linked to in this notebook is the very first page of it. And the reason I do that is because I can come up here to the pages view from that first page, and I've got my entire week template lined out for me so that I can copy Monday through Sunday, come all the way back to the beginning or to the end, and then I've already pasted my future week here. But if I come in here, after pasting it, I've got my template ready, and then the only thing that I have to fill in are the dates, whatever day that would be. And then if I can plan anything else ahead of time, I might plan, like, say, Texas Roadhouse. Maybe I want to spend a night cooking, etc. So already you can see how, compared to paper, I was wrong. It's way faster to plan your days, especially using Supernote in combination with templates. Don't forget, if you're interested in any of these templates for yourself, they're available from the link in the description. Also, if you're getting value out of the video, do me a favor, just drop a quick like. Back to the video. Moving on to the next section, we have our notes. 2025. Every year I'll refresh this so that it just stays organized, and I don't have to worry about it. It just stays nice and organized, and I can archive them at the end of every year. I keep my notes for scratch paper is the best way to think about it. If I want to do something like this, for example, I asked myself a question, which was, what are the most high value tasks that I could be doing? What are the most high value skills I could learn with respect to AI in order to make myself more effective, more valuable, whatever, And so I just brainstormed some ideas. I put that here because it was nice to kind of do that brainstorming to give myself some direction as to where to go next. Here is another example. I was in the car with my nephew, and we were playing this game where you take turns writing the name of an animal, and then the next person on their turn, they have to write the name of an animal that starts with the letter that the last animal ends with. So from zebra, it becomes alligator. From alligator, it became rhinoceros. From rhinoceros, it became snake, etc. And then two, if you want to keep this organized, this is one of the biggest reasons that I chose Supernote over some of the other tools out there, including Remarkable, which I tried and returned. If you want to keep things organized, you have the index, which I use in this way. I'll date whenever I take a note, and then I'll have a brief little title that'll give me an idea of what that note was about at that time. Okay, and then finally we have quick reference. Whereas the notes section of my overall planning system was more for, like I said, scratch paper, that is any kind of notes or drawing or games, whatever that is not, it's not necessary that I come back to those notes again and again and again, at least not for very long. Quick reference is the exact opposite. Quick reference is where I keep those notes that are long term that I will want to reference again and again and again. I'll show you a couple of examples. This right here is the outline for my ideal day. I have a block schedule set up where I have those blocks that I showed you in the earlier section, and then some example tasks that I might put in those sections. Another example is this right here. I was planning on renovating my basement to build another bathroom into my home, and it's taking a bit of a back seat, but it's still nice to have this plan here because I've outlined it where I know what the floor plan is right now, and then the goal afterward. I'm going to reposition the wall a little bit and then add a new wall is the plan. And it's nice to have this because while I'm communicating with contractors, I can show them visually, the map of what it's going to look like before and after.